I would ask the chairman how aware he is, which I'm sure is quite aware, of the extent to which the population, by any objective poll, by international organizations and media, of the people in Gaza, of what their perspective is on the appropriateness of the attacks by Hamas on Israel. Can the gentleman speak to that?
Well, there's massive celebration in the streets. Mr. Meeks and I visited the Prime Minister right after October 7th. And first thing he did is he showed the video of the Hamas attacks. And he's a very strong man. I've never seen tears in his eyes. Those are his own people. And he said, I want you to show this to Congress so they know what they did to my people, and I want them to remember it. And so we did. And we showed the video. Now I was in Kfar Aza, the kibbutz on the border with Gaza. And to know that that entire community was wiped out, and the daycare center, the children were burnt alive, and the grotesque manner with which they carried themselves out. Israel does not target innocent civilians, Hamas does. Israel did not start this conflict, Hamas did. And Israel has the right to finish it. And the thing I find most egregious with this administration is that they're tying the hands of our greatest ally in the Middle East, and they're not allowing them to finish the job by Joe Biden saying, if you go into Rafah, I will cut off all weapons. What does that mean? And what kind of message is that sending to the rest of the world? I will cut off your weapons if you go into Rafah, which is the only way, sir, that Israel can finish this conflict. You compare it to 9/11, they experienced what is 20 times the 9/11 on October 7th. And they're going to do this with or without us. But I say we stand with our ally and not abandon her at this critical point in time. And that's what I'm worried that this administration is doing.
I agree with the chairman, and I would note that there is a significant amount of polling. Here's one poll being conducted by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research, which is funded by European Union and the United States-based Forbes Foundation, which says that 71% of Palestinians in both the Gaza Strip and the West Bank believe Hamas made the right decision in attacking Israel. This is from March. There's additional polling that would suggest, for example, that 91% of Palestinians, according to the survey, do not think Hamas has committed war crimes. And 93% say the terrorist organization did not commit the well-documented acts of rape and civilian slaughter that took place on October 7th. My point being is it not also true that there is a significant, lack of clarity with respect to Hamas and the members of who might make up, for example, the battalions that the gentleman described, and the civilian population, and where those lines bleed? Is that not an accurate reflection of the difficulty with which Israel is faced with dealing with taking out the enemy combatants?
Absolutely. But the fact that they use their own people as human shields in hospitals, they take the hostages. This is why it's so difficult for Israel to go in. They want to protect innocent civilians, but it's Hamas that puts their own civilians at risk. It's Hamas that's blocking the checkpoints to block humanitarian assistance from coming in. They just killed 3 Israeli soldiers trying to bring humanitarian assistance into Gaza, and Egypt now is blocking the Rafah. Look, this is going down a very dangerous path in my view. If the optics are that we're now in defense of Hamas over Israel, and that's what, unfortunately, the optics are looking that way with this decision by the administration. Now, I understand, I know my friend is well-intended here, but in that part of the world, they understand power and strength. This looks like a weak moment to me, and it sends a really dangerous message to our adversaries.